Hello, everyone in Screencastville. Mr. S coming to you for Maths You Should Know. New unit edition today on this Thursday afternoon. Hello, friends. Today we're going to be talking about changing. We're going to change paths a little bit. We're going to do a little bit more mental math in this unit, making sure we know our addition and multiplication tables. And today we're going to talk about decimals. We've been talking about decimals in percents. We've been talking about decimals as fractions. We've been talking about rational numbers. And today we're simply going to add some of them. So today on the podcast, screencast, we are simply going to add some decimals and subtract some decimals. And if you don't learn anything other than this one thing, when either adding or subtracting decimals, you must line up the decimals. Hey, that's worth it right there. Maybe that's enough. You can hit the stop button right now. You do want to check out some more. Let's take a look at a problem. We find the sum of 23 and 1/10 and 5 and 8/10. First thing I need to do, just like I advertised a second ago, we are going to line up the decimals. In class today, we talked about using lined paper, turning it sideways. We also talked about using little boxes and making sure that all of our numbers fit in those boxes so we say nice and neat. Because a lot of times when fifth graders make little tiny errors with this particular skill, it's because we're not neat. Hey, me too. So after we set this up, we can just go ahead and add 1 plus 8 is 9. Bring the decimal straight down. 3 plus 5 is 8. And 2, there's nothing there, it's a 0, is 2. So the answer for the sum of 23 and 1/10 plus 5 and 8/10 is 28 and 9/10. How about subtraction? Notice it really doesn't change much. I see a key word in this problem. The word says difference. And anytime I see the word difference in a word problem, I'm thinking, I'm going to be subtracting some numbers. Step 1, like I advertised earlier, line up the decimals. 5 and 774,000. Got it. Spit it out. Minus 2 and 371 thousandths. There you go. I set up the problem by lining up the decimals, and all of my units are all lined up appropriately too. Ones, tenths, hundredths, and thousandths. Starting from thousands, working my way to the left. 4 minus 1 is 3. 7 minus 7 is 0. 7 minus 3 is 4. Decimal. And 5 minus 2 is 3. Again, lining up the decimal. Ugh, 3 is horrible. Lining up the decimals is essential. One more problem. We'll call it a day. Oh, I did have a question about this today in class, I remember very distinctly, about this particular problem, 6. Where is the decimal? Every number does have a decimal, it just happens to be hiding right there, right behind it. So a whole number in this case can still be represented as a rational number. And we're going to line up the decimals. And there are no spaces up there. So we're just going to fill in spaces with zeros. Okay, looks like I'm going to need to borrow from this ones column. I'm just going to borrow 1 from there and move it over here. But I know that I'm going to borrow a tenth in the hundreds column. So rather than write 10 there, cross it out right now, I just wrote 9, knowing that now I have 10 units in my hundredths column. 10 minus 8 is 2. 9 minus 7 is 2. 5 minus 4 is 1. There is a way to check my answer, is to reverse it. Why don't we add these two numbers together and see if it comes out to 6. So 4 and 78 hundredths plus 1 and 22 hundredths. Let's see what that comes out to. And plus 2 is, and carry the 1. 7 plus 2 is 9, plus 1 is 10. Bring down the decimal. 4 plus 1 is 6. As it turns out, it checked out. Ladies and gentlemen, that is how you add decimals. That's how you subtract decimals. Please line up the decimals. And that is the maths you should know.